evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually in Priory. I'm here with Empress Angela. She's a businesswoman, entrepreneur, real Rastafarian woman, and a woman that love and honor the legacy of Mr. Garvey. I spoke to her quite a few times on the telephone, but today is my very first time in meeting with her. She has told me some great news that I know the rest of the world is longing to hear about, not just Mr. Marcus Garvey, but also the parents of Mr. Garvey, the grandparents of Dr. Julius Garvey, which is actually buried close by here on properties that the Garvey family owned way back in those days. Angela, welcome. How are you? Angela, you're such a remarkable person. And Angela, would like you to tell us a little bit more of what you were saying about Mr. Garvey owning properties in Priory and both sides of the street, as you put it.
Well, according to what I have learned coming to Priory here now 10 years, I get to understand that this street, the bridge down there, both sides was owned by the father. Actually, the mother and the father is buried on the left-hand side of the street right here. However, to my understanding, what I hear from the folks here, the elder folks, is that this road wasn't this big, and then to open it now, they would have disturbed the grave. But elder folks that was here let them know, don't touch that, because that's Marcus Garvey, mother and father. Grandparents, you understand, that's his mother and father.
That's his mother and
Julius' grandparents.
Right.
So hopefully they turn up folks that know the history more than I do and can tell you more. But like I said, they were very rich, according to what I hear. They had meat shops, grocery stores, and all of that. And the man, Garvey, the father, he had many fowls. These are some of the tales that I hear. He had over 100 common fowls. Yes, indeed.
Dr. Julius, you're going to love to hear that.
And he named each one of the fowl by name. And he would call them like, come Tom, come Lou. And the fowl would come. And they were also generous, according to what the folks said, that they always give away a lot of eggs and bacons and stuff like that. Because they had the butcher shop, they would share also meat.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
You know, folks says that actually he wasn't born in St. Ann's Bay, but on the middle street in Priory right here. Actually, there's still property there. I don't know what has become of it. But like I say, when some of the elders come down and, you know, explain much better, you know?
Empress Angela, telling us what she have been told about the rich legacy of Marcus Garvey's father and mother. Later on, we'll bring you people, older folks, who can actually tell you more of the rich legacy of the Garveys. And I want the world to know they were not poor people. They were very rich. And Mr. Garvey, Marcus Garvey, didn't have to take upon his shoulder the burden of the world. He did not have to do the things that he did, the burden of the world. But because he thinks so much of himself and his race of people, he believed that he's so self-disciplined, he's so self-determined, that there's nothing on the face of this planet that he wants to do that he could not have done. And we owe all this wealth of information to Angela, Empress Angela, and we will be talking to her at a later time. So we're in Priory and we're here looking for the grave of Mr. Marcus Garvey's father and mother. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with Big Stone. Today is a very important and special day because we're here all the way in St. Ann's Bay at the Marcus Garvey Technical High School. My name is Claude Sinclair and I'm the chairman for the Marcus Garvey Planning Committee. Now we're here right outside the school, and this famous quote by our prophet and saint, I'm going to read something to you. It says, Marcus Garvey said, education is the medium by which a people are prepared for the creation of their own particular civilization and advancement and glory of their own race. A race without authority and power is a race without respect. As you see our leader, prophet and saint, Mr. Garvey, knew exactly what he was talking about when he mentioned the word education, because education is what's going to take us out of this mental slavery that has been bestowed upon us by our oppressor. The Right Honorable Marcus Garvey turned 126 years old this year. We're doing this in collaboration with IRFM, and we're going to make this year the biggest festival yet. Our intentions is to give back part proceeds from this great festival to this school so that our future generation is secure. We want to make sure our children have proper computers. We want to make sure our children have proper books, proper teachers, and we want to make sure that the curriculum, which was introduced into our school system last year by the Honorable Ronald Twait, is well tapered and nurtured for our children. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us must be our children's keeper. Education is very, very, very important. Mr. Garvey speaks of that throughout the philosophy and the opinion of his great books. Look for this festival. It's coming on the 17th of August. We're going to come from the Rio Nuevo village. That's right on the borderline of St. Mary and St. Ann. And we want to give back part proceeds to this great institution. Ladies and gentlemen, look out for our children. Look out for our picnic them. Because as you know, our children is the future. The festival starts on the 17th to the 18th, but there are numerous amount of activities taking place right across the island, celebrating our first national hero and only international hero. Look out and look for Mr. Garvey in the whirlwind. That's what he said. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Street with Big Stone. Today is a very personal day, a very sad day for me as well, because I am on the property, on the premises of the St. Ann's Bay Hospital. Now, the St. Ann's Bay Hospital is very dear and close to my very heart, because this was where I was born on the 3rd of July, 1957. It is really very sad for me because this is actually my first time coming back in over 55 years. And it is a sense of, I can't even speak because I'm so lost for words to know that this day would come when I would be standing right here. My reason for coming here is because we're doing this great big festival to celebrate the life and the legacy of our hero, our prophet and saint, the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. This year we're doing this in partnership with IRFM. This year we're also doing it to plan this tremendous festival at the Rio Nuevo village on the borderline of St. Mary and St. Ann. And we're wanting to give part proceed from this festival to this hospital where I was born. And also, this is a hospital that is very close and dear to Mr. Garvey and also Dr. Julius Garvey, the second son of Marcus Garvey. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know where you come from, you'll never know where you're going. If you do not pay respect to our ancestors and go back to the roots of whence you come from, then truly you will not be at peace with yourself. It's an honor. I give thanks to the Almighty God. I give thanks to the ancestors of our hero, Mr. Garvey, and all the 500 million slaves that died in the process for our liberation. We can only hope and ask for protection, for guidance, and we want the entire world on the 17th of August to make your pilgrimage back to where it all started, where Mr. Garvey and his great dream of African liberation. That is a big task, to liberate the people of Africa. Mr. Garvey says, whilst others can emancipate the shackles from your hands and your feet and your neck, no one but yourself can emancipate your mind. Mr. Garvey speaks of the first emancipation of chattel slavery, but he also speaks of the second emancipation, the emancipation of the mind. As he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. So today, I am honored. Today, I'm happy, sad, and today I'm grateful to be able to stand on the ground that my mother and father, Pearline and Rodney Sinclair, who got together and made me. My contribution to the world is simply this, to help in taking the message that Mr. Garvey started many years ago, and to carry to the four corners of the world like he did. This is how remarkable it is. Mr. Garvey did not have access to internet. Mr. Garvey did not have access to cable. Mr. Garvey did not have access to the cell phone. But he did it. He says where there are no doors, where there are no way of making it, create one. Mr. Garvey said, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Go for self. Self-reliance. Self-determination. Seeing, this is what is the legacy of Mr. Garvey. You're going to be hearing more from me in regards to this great festival and this collaborative effort of IRI FM. So in further, you will see more of this wonderful festival. So remember, don't forget where you come from. Because if you know where you come from, surely you're going to know where you're going. OTEP. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the great ground, as they call it. This is where the remains of Sarah Garvey and Marcus Garvey, parents of Marcus Messiah Garvey and grandparents of Dr. Julius Garvey and Marcus Garvey Jr. This is where the mortal remain alive. They're resting, sleeping. We're here in Priory, and I'm having a wonderful time just to be here with Burton Davis and Mr. Wilbert Hines and Mr. Arthur Prince. I feel blessed to be sitting here. Mr. Hines, not Mr. Hines, I'm talking about Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, tell us a little bit more about your rich knowledge of the Garveys.
Well, my rich knowledge of the Garveys starts from tender age. Because my grandfather, he was the first person who told me about Marcus Garvey. And he come and show me these things. So on account of that, I grow up and I read and I listen to the elders all the time till I realize now where his parents is buried and his grandparents is buried. And I know that he was a Mason also. And I know the tomb where his grandparents buried, around Island area there. And I know that he built an oven up the road there where the black was there living and fertilized.
Wow. And
let's proceed now.
yes.
Reading about Marcus Garvey, I heard about him. I was very much inspired as a young man coming up.
Yes.
He was a leader. He was like a president.
Yes.
In other words, a messiah of the black man. You see?
Yes, yes.
And he didn't he came to Jamaica? I was prosecuted.
Yes, he was prosecuted in Jamaica.
Okay. Well, later on, I would have been able to come to the church. And I understand what you call it, the court prosecutor.
Right.
He was the leading person of law, what you call a lawyer in those days. And he took the job as crown prosecutor because he was penalized Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
And that was, I think it was Norman Washington Mandel.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was Norman Washington Mandel. He was the one that sent Marcus Garvey to prison.
Yes.
Yes, he was the one. And up till now, my younger generation, who is double time in education, all the while element content speak of it. And I always think all the while that these things could be bring to light.
Yes.
Bring to light. Now they're speaking about hero. I think Marcus Garvey is in a fitting place to become a national hero of Jamaica. He's a hero of the black race. He's a leader without questioning.
Without question.
Without any question.
Without any question. Let me ask you a question, right? Because while we were there discussing the great lives of Sarah and Marcus Garvey Sr., we asked, has anyone ever visited this spot? Is this spot documented?
This part?
Right here.
Yeah, a lot of people come here to take pictures.
A lot of people come here to take
Black and
pictures.
white.
Black and white
Black
people
and
come
white
right here.
because we always interview.
You always tell them of
Yes,
this
always
place.
tell them. You know.
So you're more like the caretaker of the great ground.
Yeah, one of them.
One of the caretakers of the great ground.
One of them. Yes. And
What make you draw to Mr. Garvey so much? I mean, you could have drawn to a whole lot of other people, but Mr. Garvey is like something very dear and close to your heart.
yes, dear, you know, when my old people used to tell me about Marcus Garvey, it sounded human. It sounded like it was more angelic.
It was more angelic.
Angelic.
Mr. Davis.
More angelic. So on account of that, I always humbly listen and record.
And record.
When I have the ability to read and write, I learn about Marcus Garvey, you know, without any question. Without any question. Before I could read and write, I was learning about Marcus Garvey. And my grandfather told me right out to the corner there, where I could go, the tree was where I stand up on top. And you could further up to show me that this is Marcus Garvey. And less than 3 years ago, some old people from the street like them, but to see one morning I was coming up and I stopped and looked over the place and said, it's like it's a Marcus Garvey body. The elder like community, you know?
Yes.
They always talk and hear talk.
Yes.
So it's a blessing having you here today.
And
Just the first step of this stepping stone
Yes.
to let you know more.
one more.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, as you know, Mr. Davis, we here at Big Stone Records and also the Marcus Garvey Planning Committee is committed, and we stand loyal and we stand rooted to exposing the hypocrites of Mr. Garvey, the Bagawayas and all the others who that come up against Mr. Garvey, come up against your saying. And we're here to expose the truth. And that's why we took this pilgrimage from Kingston to come all the way to Priory in St Ann, where it all started.
Yes.
And this year, the 126th birthday of Mr. Garvey, we are doing this in collaboration with IRI FM, in as Andrea Williams says, in African solidarity. We're doing this.
Yes,
And
I agree with that.
we want the world to know that Mr. Garvey is the greatest black man that was ever born from a woman. And we say that with no apologies, okay? He's our saint, he's our hero, he's our first national hero, and only international hero. I want to thank you very much. I'm going to come back and talk to you some more.
Welcome.
Yes, yes.
And I will let you escort me to where...
As soon as the bin begin to spin and work, it begin to surface.
Yes, I know. I want you to take me now back to where the parents of Marcus Sr. and Sarah Garvey were buried. And that would be the highlight of it all.
Yes,
So
yes,
once
yes.
again, we want to thank you very much for your time, Mr. Hines.
Yes.
Thank you. So Mr. Hines right there. Mr. Hines, what would you want to say to the world in part in backing up what Mr. Davis says?
Growing up as a little boy,
Yes,
I hear about Marcus Garvey
yes,
and say he was a old great man.
yes.
Yes,
And that knowledge will stay with you forever.
that's right.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I came to Priory searching for the great ground of where Mr. Garvey Sr. and Sarah Garvey, the mother of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, were buried. And I found that spot. And I want to thank all the people involved, Ms. Lawrence here, for giving us permission to actually come on her property and to do this so that the rest of the world can see where the remains of Mr. Garvey's mother and father lies. Thank you very much for watching, and we see you. And what, you want to say anything else?
Yeah.
Say.
I will make contact with the family.
Okay.
Relatives them tonight. So
All right, please, because I know there's a lot of Garvey's still left here,
Yes,
little great-great-grandchildren and so on and so
I
forth.
was trying to make some contact with them, you know, but we couldn't make no contact.
Okay.
But I will do my best. I will do my
find them.
endeavor to make contact with them.
Thank you very much.
Because we are close friends, you know. We are the Garvey group like sisters and brothers.
Yeah, you're close friends. And you still have Garvey's living in the Priory.
Yes, man.
We want to meet them.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me. And I want to thank you very much for watching, all right? And show this video to your children, and your children, and your children, to let you know that being black, as Mr. Garvey says, is not a badge of shame. No, but it's a badge of honor. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. Hotel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets. My name is Claude Sinclair. I'm chairman of the Marcus Garvey Planning Committee and president and founder of Big Stone Records. Today I'm very happy. I'm so happy you would not even imagine how I feel within my heart, because I'm standing here on holy ground. I'm standing here where lies the remains of the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, mother and father. His mother's name is Sarah Garvey, and his father's name is Marcus Garvey. I'm standing here right in Priory St Ann, where all the greatness of Marcus Garvey started. Whatever Mr. Garvey accomplished could only be accomplished by his parents being who they are. Miss Sarah Garvey named Marcus Garvey the Messiah. And when she said the Messiah, she means the Messiah, because that's what Mr. Garvey is. The Messiah, the liberator for all his people, not just the people of Jamaica, not just the people of the Western Hemisphere, but all the black people scattered right across the world. He is a beacon of light. The philosophy and the opinion is the only way out of slavery, the only way we can redeem ourselves and liberate ourselves. Mr. Garvey spoke of the emancipation of chattel slavery, which means the removal of physical chains from our hands and our feet. But Mr. Garvey also spoke of the second emancipation, and that emancipation is that of your mind. No, whilst others can remove the chains and shackles from your hands and your feet, only you can move it from your mind. But guess what? Mr. Garvey has given us the blueprint to move those chains and shackles from your mentality, and to show you that, hey, you can become somebody. You can become self-reliant. You can become self-determined. You can become anything that you want to become. To my left, I'm here with my friend, Wilbert Hines. He is over 70 years old. 74 to be exact. And to my right is Burton Davis, another Garveyite. And to my further right is Mr. Audley Prince. We're surrounded here with people that can give us the rich legacy and the history of these great people that produced the #1 individual on the planet Earth. And that is Mr. Marcus Messiah Garvey. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to come close to Mr. Photographer, because you know the train and not that's a train, the vehicles and all the nights that is coming by. I want to speak to you first. Wilbert, how you feel to be standing here on holy ground? What are your feelings going through your mind right now as we speak?
Well, Marcus Garvey, he is a good man. When I grow up,
Right.
as a little boy.
As a little boy.
Yeah. I never hear anybody any bad name, not at all. Yes. He's just a nice man. Yes. But I don't know much about it.
I can understand based on your age.
Yes.
But I was told by Empress Angela that she heard from people, you know, who have all this wealth of knowledge, that Mr. Garvey was such a very wealthy individual. And he owns many fowls, right?
Yes.
And then when all these fowls had eggs, he would just give them away to people.
Yes.
Just like Marcus Messiah Garvey, he wasn't a selfish individual. He shared everything that they had, and they shared their son to the world.
Yes.
Wilbert, It is an honor for me to stand here with you, and it is an honor for me to present you to the world. So the world can see that you, as an individual, still remember the grandparents of Mr. Garvey, which is Dr. Julius Garvey, and also the mother and father of Mr. Marcus Messiah Garvey. I feel good.
Yes, yes.
Burton Davis, you look like a military man. Talk to me. What are your feelings about, first of all, the parents of Mr. Garvey, and of course, Mr. Garvey himself? How do you feel? Talk to me.
Speak about the parents. The parents is an extraordinary character.
Yes.
They're not only was parents, they were teachers. They were guidance angels. Not only for Mr. Garvey, but for others.
Yes.
Also for Mr. Garvey. He was a man of extraordinary character also. He was a born leader with God at his side. He always followed the footsteps and the guidance of the Bible. In my opinion, Marcus Garvey was no ordinary human being. He was a man among men.
He's a man among men.
Yes.
Very well said, my brother. Mr. Davis, how old are you, sir?
I'm 70 years old.
You're 70 years old.
Yes, sir.
What would you like to say to I mean, you've said so much already, but what else you want to say? I mean, I'm so lost with words, I can't even ask the right words here. Talk the things them. Let the people know what's going on, man. I'm overwhelmed.
Marcus Garvey is such an extraordinary person that he's like, say, he's like a jewel beyond value, where everybody would like to own.
Let me repeat that. Mr. Garvey, Marcus Messiah Garvey, is like a jewel with no value. It's priceless. You cannot put a value on such a great human being.
Yes.
Continue, my brother.
And everybody would like to have a hold of it. And that is the reason why it's so wide sometimes we may become into some controversy. Like people claim that he was born here or he was born there. Marcus Messiah Garvey was born in this blessed district of Priory in St Ann.
Unquestionably, there's no doubt.
Yes.
And of course, later on, before the lighting goes, we want to go back to that yard. Somebody pointed to a yard. Is there a yard close by here?
Yes, where they told me that Marcus Garvey born.
Where the actual yard of where Mr. Garvey was born.
And all those property at that time was Garvey's property.
All the properties that were Garvey. Empress Angela told me that she heard, right, that Mr. Garvey, the original Mr. Garvey, owned properties both sides of the streets in Priory. So they were not poor people. So you see, Mr. Garvey was born into wealth, but he did not think about money. He did not think about going about his own personal business. He took on the problems of over 500 million slaves. And that's what he said. He said, if you ever mess with Africa, look for me in the whirlwind, because I'll be coming armed with over 500 million slaves. What a feelings. Anything else you want to say?
The saying that Marcus Garvey was born at Top Road in St. Anne's Bay is fabricated. Marcus Garvey lived and go to St. Anne's Bay to work at a printing office in front of the courthouse.
Okay.
And from there he was living at Top Road.
Okay.
You understand? The man who I believe forwarded this information was the very man who did have him arrested when he was preaching against the oppression of black.
Okay, great.
And that man's name was Carpy Rose.
Carpy Rose.
He was a district constable at that time.
Okay.
You see? Okay. Well, round the road there in front of Island Dairy, when I was going to school, my grandfather took me and showed me two tombs.
Yes.
Two tombs. That's where his grandmother now. This is mother and father.
Right.
But where his grandmother and grandfather buried.
What you saying to me? Hold on for a second. Hold on there. What are you saying?
Yes.
That you can actually take me to where?
Yes.
The mother and father of Marcus Messiah Garvey's mother and father. Which is his...
Yes.
I can't believe this.
Okay, let me go on further. And there was an oven here that built by his grandparents. And there was also one at a place of their
Yes. Yes.
And my grandfather was a man who always took me around and showed me, all those things, because he was very much in line with Marcus Garvey teaching and inspiration.
Thank you very much.
Pass it on to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big round of applause, guys. Guess what? We want to clap him because we need this for our children. We do not just need this information for ourselves. We need it for our children and our children's children and our children's children. We are going to make sure that whatever happened to us in slavery will never ever happen again. Thank you very much. Mr. Audley Prince, I know you're waiting patiently, Mr. Prince.
Yes.
What do you have to say to the world?
First I have to say,
Yes.
first to comment. Give thanks and praise
Yes.
to the Almighty.
To the Almighty.
Yeah, to know that
Yes.
I have a mother and a father who come together. And my father and my mother have sexual intercourse. And my mother gave birth to me, who born and grow and come and get the knowledge about Marcus Garvey and his parents. And I feel good to know that I grow and know the place that where Marcus Garvey parents lay to rest.
Yes.
I feel good about that. So you see, while growing up, we get to understand from other older people. We get to learn little about Garvey.
Yes.
And what we gather, the knowledge that I gather from other old people is that I don't know if any Garvey born in St. Ann. All the Garvey, the knowledge that I gather about Garvey, every Garvey born is from Priory.
It's from Priory.
Right, and then now, while growing up, we used to come here. We are our friend. Come down a little script, have a little chat, sit down here. We used to call here Great Ground.
Great Ground?
Yeah, Great Ground we used to call it.
Right.
We used to call it.
You didn't call this a burial spot?
No. We never call it a burial spot. Like we down the road, we say, yo, come, we are going up the road, we are going to Great Ground.
Yes.
We are going to Great Ground to sit down and burn a script.
So this was actually a meeting place where people used to come and, talk right around the spot right here.
We sit all of them places here with us. People string right round.
Wow.
Sitting down, man are burning them spirit, and man are drinking one dragon or a Guinness.
Yes, yes.
And people have them chat.
Yes.
So I feel good to know that I grow and know the spot where the remainder of the great Marcus Mosiah Garvey parents lay to rest.
What a wonderful presentation by Mr. Audley Prince. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. All these wonderful gentlemen coming together and to give us the knowledge that we so desperately yearn for. Because everybody do it, the Jews do it. They make sure that Holocaust will never happen again because they say Hitler killed over 6 million Jews in Germany. Over 500 million slaves were killed, murdered, some thrown overboard, fed to the sharks. Our history must be told. Our history must be preserved so that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-great-great-grandchildren must know that this spot here is what? What you call it? What you call this spot?
Great ground.
This spot here is great ground. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And this spot, I will ask the owner, could you come over here, please? I know you're not dressed for the camera, but this is history. It doesn't matter. Come over here. I'm gonna hug you and bring you this camera. I want you to stand right side of here. Stand right beside me. All right.
Sorry, what
all right, good. All right, she can't come to the ceiling and take him back because this is big.